Hey, welcome everybody to You Can't Make This Up. And what do you say we just start rolling with things? And well, let's roll. Check it out. This first picture I got for you guys. You can't make this up. This is really good. I like this because this picture says 1,000 words, and this one does. Let's show this first picture. Imagine being so naive that you eat bugs to save the planet from cow farts. Oops, did I say that on? Yeah, I did. Because the TV told you to do it. I mean, we could take that to a whole nother level if you look at the last 4.5 years of insanity. But ain't that so true? I mean, you look at that and you go, okay, you can't make this up. All right. Hey, by the way, I just want to encourage you, if you haven't done so already, join us on Sunday mornings right here at Hope for Our Times for Sunday Morning Church. We would love to just minister if you're looking for a place. And we're in the Gospel of John right now. John chapter 7, we're going to be beginning. So join us. Actually, we're going to conclude we got to finish John chapter 6 first. John chapter 6, this coming Sunday, join us. Sunday night, I'll be wrapping up the book of Daniel, Daniel chapter 12. Join us for both of those if you can. Love to have you join us. And okay. Let's keep going. You ready for this? California can't find $20 billion. Look what Jesse Waters has to say about this.
Imagine losing $20 billion. That's what's happening in California this week, where under Gavin Newsom's watch, the state spent $20 billion over the last 5 years to combat homelessness. And the number of homeless people increased. So when auditors asked to see where the money was spent, no one had any idea. It turns out the state's homeless council just threw money at homeless nonprofits, but didn't track how much or how the nonprofits spent it. So lawmakers demanded a hearing, and it was a hot mess. Watch.
What's the money been spent on?
LACH is working on finalizing its HAP annual report and hope to have that published in short order.
Why has it taken 3 years to get data? The system was implemented in 2021.
So HGIS began in 2021. It wasn't fully implemented until 2022.
Okay, that's still 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So why is it taking so? I mean, you're the one that said you're urgent. I don't know. Maybe my sense of urgency is different from your sense of urgency. You can't tell us at all how many people we've helped.
No, they can't. It's like a car accident. You don't want to look, but you can't stop.
When you're talking about what happened in those 2 years, a lot of that is grantees using a data system they'd never used before, getting used to it, getting substantial technical assistance, us getting back bad data, needing to go have further conversations, and then needing to go work on cleaning up that data.
So they lost $20 billion because of technical difficulties?
That's great. Gavin Newsom, like a clown. That is, and Joker clown at that. I mean, look at that. Go. No kidding. Welcome to the state of California. There's a reason why they call Texas the great state of Texas. They call California the insane left coast. And another reminder for you guys out there, pray for us here in California. Look at this, $20 billion. I mean, the IRS comes after me if I'm off like 10 cents. $20 billion. Isn't that rather interesting? By the way, you might have noticed this book here, The End of Money by Mark Hitchcock. Listen, Mark Hitchcock, many of you already know him, Pastor Mark Hitchcock, fantastic, one of the best. And The End of Money, outstanding book. Check it out if you want to. We do have it at the Hope for Our Time store, but The Final Apocalypse brings an economic new world order, is one chapter. The Future Has Already Been Written, another chapter. Babylon, the Great City, Cashless and You, just right on down the list. Great book if you want to get it. The End of Money. And I thought it goes along well with California losing $20 billion. Talk about the end of money. Well, speaking of California, this next picture is going to be frightening. I'm going to show it to you anyways because you can't make this up. But you know there's some truth to this. Let's show this next picture. There you go. Breaking. The Beach Boys have apologized for their now offensively inaccurate 1965 hit and have canceled it immediately. Nobody wishes they all could be California girls anymore. That is great. You know, that's satire, but it's true. You know, folks, you know that is true. Thank you. Alexis from Idaho for sending that in. That is so true, so spot on. Nobody wishes they could be California girls anymore. Beach Boys, that's hilarious. Hey, I want to give a shout out to North Dakota, to the women's Bible study there. They had Lee Brainerd out, and check it out. Some of them have the "You Can't Make This Up" shirts on. In fact, I was told that all of them have "You Can't Make Up This" shirt, but apparently Lee forgot to communicate to them that they were all supposed to wear it for the picture. Not really, but Lee was invited up there. Great. Good job, Lee. Wonderful to have you as a friend of ministry. And thank you for all of you up in North Dakota, just for your encouragement in wearing those shirts. Okay, I'm going to show you next video. All right, you ready? Check this out. This definitely, you can't make this up. Up in Canada, for all you folks up in Canada, you guys already know it's nuts up there. Well, apparently with crime, they want you to make your key fob, you know, the electric start car thing. They want you to make your key fob available for criminals so they won't break into your house. Seriously, they're going to break into your house and steal your key fob, so therefore leave it someplace where it can be easily found by thieves. Check it out. I'm not kidding you. You can't make this up. Watch this short video. Watch this.
Well, Marco Ricciardi had a new message for vehicle owners who keep their fobs in Faraday pouches.
To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your fobs at your front door, because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. A lot of them that they're arresting have guns on them, and they're not toy guns, they're real guns. They're loaded.
That's why Galinsky says they will be installing the door stops and taking YPR's advice seriously. But she'd like more action from police as well.
So, I mean, it's hard to believe. This is the insanity that we are dealing with because, as even that caption said, weak men create, well, let's just say, very bad times. When the unrighteous rule, the people suffer. When the righteous rule, the people are blessed. That's what the Bible teaches. So you look at this. Leave your car keys at your front door because the thief will break into your house to steal your car keys. Is it really that bad? That is just so stupid. That's idiotic. I mean, I've met so many people from Canada. We get a lot of people from Canada that email us and comment. And when we were up in Seattle, I met many of you up there and just different places where we've been, people coming down from Canada. I feel bad for you guys. I mean, this is just total insanity. I thought stuff like that only happened in California and New York. But just totally nuts. Leave your keys at the front door. Well, let's move on because the Pope, he's got something to say too. Of course, this is just, I mean, this stuff is just so stupid. It really is. All right, check out what the Pope has to say. Look at this. The influencer. Look at this. Pope clears way for God's influencer to become a saint. Read it for yourself. I'm not going to read it because it's just idiotic. Apparently, this guy is a Catholic influencer online, or was, right? Before he died, I guess. He was an influencer for Catholicism in social media. God's influencer to become, for people to become Catholic. Get that? So you're a social media influencer. You become a saint. What an idiot! What kind of world do we live in? Well, we live in a world that is pretty just messed up. Okay, I'm going to show you a video. This shows you how messed up we are, and even in the church, not just the Catholic Church, the Protestant church. Wait till you see this one. This is Mark Driscoll. Love him or hate him. Listen, just watch this. He is pretty spot on here. I'm hoping, since you guys watch Hope for Our Times, you get that this is definitely a problem. All right, check out a short video with Mark Driscoll.
The first time there was an ecumenical worship service was in heaven when the angels that sided with Satan and rebelled against God, they wanted to have sort of an interfaith worship atmosphere in heaven where Satan and demons and God were all worshiped simultaneously. And the result was that there was a war and Satan and demons were cast down to the earth. And now they're hanging out with guys who play acoustic guitar.
This is nuts. Muslims and Christians worship together. What kind of Christian is that? Well, for one thing, they're a churchgoer. How can you be a genuine believer? And if you are a genuine believer, then you're just really idiotic and you don't understand what Islam teaches and you don't understand your Christian faith. This is just unbelievable. I love the way that Driscoll points that out. You have Satan and God in heaven wanting to be worshiped together. That is a problem, right? Hence, Satan got the boot. That's what they're doing. Of course, I believe it's Christian in name, but this is just absolutely idiotic and spiritually demonic. I mean, this is just and stupid. I mean, I wish I could just rattle off a whole bunch of words, but they'd probably offend everybody. And we are an equal opportunity offender here at You Can't Make This Up. Okay, you ready? Let's get something else that's going to offend people who are offended by preacher politicians who preach righteousness and preach about Jesus. I'm sure this politician has got all kinds of people mad at him now, but I love what he has to say. So you ready? Check out this video because he sets the record straight. He is not leading worship with a bunch of Muslims and Christians trying to get together. Not at all. Watch what he has to say. This is fantastic. Love this.
Here's something else I'm not supposed to say. Ain't but two genders. Two genders. Ain't nothing but men and women. And I can already see WRL out there. They licking their pencils right now, trying to write fiercest as they can. Get every word of this here. Get every word of this. You can go to the doctor and get cut up. You can go down to the dress shop and get made up. You can go down there and get drugged up. But at the end of the day, you were just a drugged up, dressed up, made up, cut up, man or woman. You ain't changed what God put in you, that DNA. You can't transcend God's creation. I don't care how hard you try. The transgender movement in this country, if there's a movement in this country that is demonic and that is full of the spirit of Antichrist, it is the transgender movement. It's time for grown-ups and time for Christians to start standing up and being unafraid to tell the truth. Come after me if you want to. I don't care. You want my head? Here it is right here. Come on, come get it.
I think he just became my new favorite preacher. That is fantastic. I don't know him. I've never met him. But man, was that so true. You know what? And all we hear about, even coming from Christians, well, it's a mental illness. Is it really? I love how he called it out. Says, no, this is, if there's a movement that's demonic right now in the United States of America, it is that. Why don't you have this in China? Why don't you have it in any Muslim country? Why don't you have it in Russia? They wouldn't put up with this absolute wicked nonsense. Not a chance. And I love that. I love what it says right there on the front of that pulpit. Jesus is Lord. That was so spot on. That's one of those I'm going to be keeping and sharing it everywhere I possibly can. Thank you, Mark Robinson, for sharing what you shared and having the guts to say it and not being worried about what other people will say. Oh, I'm a preacher. I'm supposed to be really nice and have everybody just want to do a big group hug with me. What a bunch of nonsense. That was great. Loved it. It's the truth, and we need to call out the truth. All right. Now we're going to look at some more absolute, this is just unbelievable. These people are evil. This has to do with the pro-Hamas movement. So there's a Memorial Day parade going on. Flags, American flags, you know, stars and stripes, coming down the street for the Memorial Day. Well, a bunch of the pro-Palestinian people decide they're going to put an end to the Memorial Day parade here in the United States of America. This is where we are. Listen, why don't we send them all to Palestine? Why don't we send them all to Gaza since they love Gaza so much? Watch what they do here.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Yeah, that's it. Just Princeton University figures, right? You look, you go, there's your, well, now it's our tax dollars because these student loans, apparently they're getting wiped out by our tax dollars, right? You look at this, you go to Gaza. Tell you what, why don't you go to Saudi Arabia? Why don't you go to Egypt? Why don't you go to Jordan? Why don't you go to Syria? Why don't you go to Iran? Why don't you go to Lebanon? Why don't you do something like, why don't you go to the Sudan? Why don't you go to Libya? Go anywhere. You love this stuff so much? You believe this stuff so much? Get out of here then. I'll buy you a ticket one way because I don't want you back. I don't think anybody else wants you back either, except for you and your friends. But you guys won't even go. You won't even go. Let me show you this picture here, right? Here's a fact. You hear so much about colonialism. I really appreciate A.J. Edelman. Thank you for your posts. They're really good. Hamas shot rockets from Gaza at Tel Aviv today in an attempt to decolonize it from the descendants of these folks shown violently displacing sand while founding the now metropolis in 1909. So that bottom picture that you see right there, that is Tel Aviv as the Jews were starting to make their aliyah, starting to establish the land of Israel, Zionism, right? Can you go back to that picture? And you look at this picture, look at that. So it's just a desolate wasteland. They didn't colonize anything. In fact, you look at the history of Israel and you start to find out, wait a minute, David bought the Mount Moriah, where the temple was built, from the Jebusite. He bought it from the Jebusite. David bought it. He purchased it. And you look at that and you go, where was Islam at that time? There was no such thing as Islam. Muhammad wasn't around till what, 700 AD after Christ. And you think they're Israel's colonizers? No, so that picture, 1909, it was a wasteland. In fact, the area around Galilee was a swampland full of malaria. And as the Jews were making their way back there, they cleaned it up. Many of them died. It wasn't colonizing anything. You read the works of Mark Twain. He'll tell you what it was really like. People are liars. They're all over the place. Anti-Semitic liars. All right. So I just thought I'd show you this last picture here to help us understand the madness of the woke days that we live in. Check out this picture from Mob and Times. I don't know if you guys have ever followed them. Interesting. Anyways, look at this. So apparently this film includes language and or cultural stereotypes that are inconsistent with today's standards of inclusion and tolerance and may offend some viewers. So you look at this and you go, this is just so idiotic. I've never seen it before, never saw the series, but I know enough about it and think that now they're saying it's too insensitive. Oh, we're hurting people's feelings. How could you be this way and do these types of things? Show such horrible violence. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't say such things. And yet you're willing to cut off a little boy's private parts. You guys are sick. Sick. God bless you guys. Hope you have a great weekend.